Welcome, it's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brand. As always, I never do this alone. I have the ladies in the building. Hello, how you doing? We have Mrs. Mba. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Good
Mariah.
to have you.
It's nice to be here. This is my first time.
Yay! Good to have you.
My pleasure.
When we see your journalist hang out, and sometimes we
Hanging out.
Yes, hanging out with the journalists, and also the elections. You were very prominent on TVC News.
Yes.
So it's good to have you with the ladies. You know, yeah, we don't do so much analyzing. We just try to gist here.
Oh, really?
So
I'll flow with you.
Yeah, flow with them. How you doing, Topsy?
I'm very good. So I was just thinking of all these our newly elected governors, plenty things going back and forth, and I just realized that I think everybody should put their eyes on Oyo State. You know, I think that we should pay attention to Oyo State. Oyo State has a 32-year-old speaker of the State House of Assembly, a 25-year-old member, and they have a governor that is 52.
So that means I Plateau State to that.
Yeah, so like the age, because of the any state that we have young people, we should pay attention. Most importantly, we should let every young person in political position realize that they are our ambassadors. They are the ambassador for every young person.
Talking about ambassadors,
use it.
The governor of Oyo State is saying that he has waived all immunity. Is that correct? I read in the paper sometime. I don't know how true it is. That he's waived immunity. That he should probe if anything happens.
Even during government.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Every young person, because we have a bad name from Kogi, and everybody keeps saying, oh, this person in Kogi, this person in Kogi. But every other young person in position, just come out and show yourself. Flaunt that. When you give young people a chance, we have vibrancy, we have work, we have this. Our life is ahead of us. And we're
governor of Oyo State hit the ground running.
Yes.
What's young again now?
Young,
35 to 50.
You know, yes,
50,
yes,
right?
to 50, 50 and below, yeah.
That's young for us.
Kogi State governor, he's in his 40s.
40s,
That's
yes.
young.
It's still very young.
Compared to Baba,
Okay.
Yes, 70.
Baba is 70 something.
Yeah.
How you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing fine.
This is your bold neck piece, man.
Yes.
Goodness.
Statement.
Oh, wow, this is really nice.
Thank you. I mean,
Very chic.
since I'm bearing my shoulders, I might as well sort of cover it up. My mom is always saying, please don't open your neck for people. You have to cover your neck. And then you give me a necklace or something to cover
At
the
least
neck.
you've seen your mole. You've seen a beautiful mole. Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's up?
So my weekend was spent being a nurse. My son was ill throughout, and exams are starting in a few days, and we're still in bed sick. So immediately after the show, we're off to the hospital. I thought it was malaria, but it seems to be maybe something much more than that,
Right.
you know.
I've been through that phase last week, you know, nursing the baby. So, we're actually 5 months today. Yay!
Oh, 5 months.
Today is our 5th month.
On
On
Earth.
It's a bit surprising that you have a
The 5 month.
Yeah, a superwoman, honestly.
How? I'm just doing my
but-
work.
No, but Mariah, you have 4 kids and then you have a 5-month-old baby. Like, we
No, I have 3 children and a 4-month-old baby. Please, don't come and ask me. 3 children and 1 4-month-old. So that's So, hi, Janet. Good to have you on the show. So tell us about yourself, what's going on, your career, family, the kids. Anything interesting that you want to gist us about?
Interesting. Well, I'm Janet Mbafolabi. I'm a CNN award-winning journalist.
Yes.
I started my journalism career in Newswatch in the 90s, when Newswatch magazine was a place to be.
Right.
From there, I moved on to Tell as an assistant
Ah,
editor.
Jide. Yeah, with the Jide. Wow, nice, okay.
So from Tell, I co-founded Insider Magazine with 7 other editors.
Wow.
And after 7 years in Insider, I decided to take a solo flight and start my own publication, which was hard copy before, but now it is online.
So I'm married through and through. Like, a round of
They have a
applause.
female journalist, serious things happening there. That's good.
That's good.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, let's start with Punch today. Governor's failure to replace retired teachers threatens public secondary education, says Ogun NUT chair. In addition, he said that for your information, since 2009 till date, more than 7,000 teachers have retired in Ogun State without replacements. Woman flees after burning stepson's face with hot iron. Akeredolu fires 3 commissioners. ICPC begins probe of 15 billion naira constituency project in 12 states. Buhari mourns as suicide bombers kill 30 at Kunduga Viewing Center. Lagos APC faults Bode judge over comments on Tinubu. Egypt ex-president Morsi dies during court session. Oshunpo Adeleke insists on tribunal's verdict as Supreme Court rules on July 5th. And INEC must produce server used for 2019 elections. Sorry, is INEC anywhere else?
I think everywhere, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, it is.
Because we must not talk
No,
about
we
INEC.
won't.
Okay, let's talk about human interest.
Yes.
Okay, yes. A middle-aged woman, her name is Saude Kuti. She has fled her home after she had taken a pressing iron and put it on her stepson's face for allegedly pouring, or she allegedly
I think we took the story last week.
The iron on her stepson's face because he had mistakenly poured groundnut oil out of the bottle.
Right.
And then in order to sort of not get in trouble with his stepmom, he poured water in it, you know, to cover the act. And when she discovered it, she was so upset that she beat him several times, then took the iron and placed it on his face.
Obviously, this is a wicked stepmother, because according to the boy, he was able to scoop the oil back in the bottle, but obviously he didn't go all the way up. So he just used water to fill it up.
That's the oil.
Yeah. That's the oil.
Yeah, but
he's 10 years old.
Yeah, but then he's used to being hit by his stepmother. So
he was so scared. And she found out she knew that she was beating him. But because beating doesn't do anything to him, he didn't cry. She now is going to get a hot iron press on his face. The father says that she's fled. Yeah. That since it happened, he hasn't seen his wife.
But there's a human rights group that's involved right now, and they're saying that whenever they see her, that she should report.
I think we need to move into other ways of other punitive measures aside from beating and waiting to see that pain. So, but follow up to the story. Punch yesterday has been uncovering issues regarding secondary schools, and the major one today is that a lot of teachers have been retired, and some died naturally, and they have not been replaced. They say Ogun State hasn't employed teachers since 2013, or Osun since 2013, Ogun 2009, Ondo 2007. They haven't employed new teachers since 2007. They also said that they don't have science teachers, especially in the NUT, saying we cannot teach science without science teachers, mentioning that we have one teacher taking a subject across GSS 1 to SS3. It is appalling. And what I'm saying now is, I am mentioning the states. I mentioned yesterday, I'm mentioning again today. So the governors cannot say they're unaware of the state of the rot in the educational sector. Let's
move on to Vanguard. Oshodi-Apapa Expressway. No concrete plans to restore lasting sanity, according to Vanguard's investigation. Interesting article. Kinjibe, why I abandoned June 12 for Abacha's Junta. I actually wanted to read that story, but I forgot. Ayokunle Ahima battle for CAN presidency. Nigeria is in distress, says Anglican Communion. 33 killed, dozens injured, houses burnt in triple suicide bombing in Taraba. Let's take very quickly Oshodi-Apapa Expressway.
Yeah, so according to the report by Vanguard, they're saying that there had been sort of a contract. We had heard the talk like there was going to be a contract.
Let me start from the front page, from the picture.
Okay.
The picture here, Vanguard showed us to remind us of the flag up that happened November 17, 2018. So they're taking us back to what we thought was going to be, but then...
Yes. So it's come to about, I think, over 17 billion naira was what the contract was meant to be, and it was to make sure that this road is being repaired, and also that the state government builds a parking space for these trucks.
Exactly.
But they said since then nothing has been done. The Aliko Dangote is involved in it as well. I think he has he contributed a tune of 8 billion.
No, let me repeat that story. What happened is that, according to the report that we read, Vanguard is saying that this fanfare we saw, nothing happened.
There was no concrete
plan. There was an MOU that was signed, but no contract. That Dangote actually invested 8 billion in the Wharf Road. And because he hasn't gotten his money back, he's not willing to continue the 74-kilometer road, Oshodi-Apapa Expressway. And that he has started returning asked them to withdraw his men from off the roads. So the problem now is that it seems, according to this report, that the federal government, the state government, and the billionaire have totally hands off the project of Oshodi-Apapa Expressway.
There's no solution going
So we don't know how true this is, but that's what this investigation is telling us.
Before we run off the Babache Lawal story, so the EFCC, remember Babache Lawal, the scandal of 500 million to cut the grass.
It was 200 million actually.
Oh, no, they said he profited from the approval of 500 million for removal of invasive plant species, according to the paper here. And his brother is also culpable because his brother, the brother of Babachir Lawal, works in the company that got the contract for the grass cutting. So the EFCC submitted some documents that the court said is not acceptable because it wasn't certified. So, you know, we've been saying we're trying to fight corruption, but the EFCC is unable to. Olisabakoba said last week that the EFCC needs funding to be able to effectively fight corruption. So we have a case ongoing for over a year now, and there's no headway.
What are your thoughts on this, Janet? This issue of Babachir Lawal? I know you guys
fighting corruption.
I think EFCC, let me take it from the last statement that she made. EFCC needs funding, serious funding. The government, if you want to fight corruption, you really need to support the organization or the commission that is fighting that corruption, because those who are accused, like this Babachir and other suspects, they have so much money to employ, to pay lawyers, pay SANS, pay even 100 SANS, and then they will win the case against EFCC. EFCC lawyers, sometimes they are not motivated to even go do the kind of investigation that they need to do, because it's about investigation. The law is blind. You come with the investigation, the evidence that you have to be able to prove that this man is actually
All right, let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. We only experimented with server. We didn't use it for 2019 polls, according to INEC. INEC is Paunda. I mean, they're Paunda. Stolen 3-day-old baby found, handed over to mother in Plateau. Buhari mourns as 30 die in the suicide attack. No court order stop probe into Kano Emirates funds, says anti-graft agency. Egypt's ex-president Morsi dies after fainting in court. And Osun Guba's Supreme Court delivers judgment July 15.
So the server, yes. We know that the former Vice President Atiku is in court and is trying to fight, you know, for what they believe is their right. And they've petitioned, actually, INEC, to bring forth all the information on the server. And this server we're talking about is what should have taken all the data from collating centers to the national, you know, the main server. But now INEC is saying that that doesn't exist. And they're explaining that there is a server, it exists.
Oh, Mariam, you're not saying it well. Mariam, no, you're not saying it well.
2019. Okay, let me dramatize. Okay, let me dramatize it. So,
because there's some people that have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so you see, and there's this server, like a major board.
Yes.
All the collating centers are supposed to send information to that server.
Yes.
And that's what Atiku and his team are using, you know, asking for, so that they can prove that they won the election.
Right.
But the thing is that INEC first said there was no server. Now, they're saying, well, there's a server. But we used it in 2018 as a testing thing, you know, for Sokoto and some other
They
states.
also even say, in addition to that, Maria, they also said that they only used it for the gubernatorial election in Anambra, and I think, is it Osun?
Yeah, Osun.
That it wasn't used for the main presidential election. That they're not saying there's no server, but it was not used in 2019. So
but they're giving reasons why it was not used.
Okay, that's...
They said, see, the budget did not come out on time.
Okay.
Secondly, know that electoral act, how we kept going back and forth, wasting their time. So it really, they couldn't
afford to bring it. So
use it. Yeah.
Left to you Nigerians decide, was there a server or was there no server? It's left for you to decide. Let's want to.
People died in Burkina State.
Yes, that's the story we must take.
Injured.
I was going to take that in the next paper, actually. Daily Sun, our president, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, says God will judge suicide bombers. 31 killed in Borno attack. Gridlock, Lagos shuts Mile 2 Tinkan Road for repairs. And let's pick one more story. National Assembly leadership, G70 reps alleged vote buying in Dume goes to court. So go back to our president.
So the governor of Borno State, Babagana Umaru, visited these people, the 42 that were injured in the hospital, and he was saying, his heart goes out to them, he was crying. The president will be saying that God will judge them, but I feel that we're just saying numbers. You know, we say 30 died, 15 died. There's 3 suicide bombers. We're not understanding that these are human beings with families, with lives, and that when if we keep on using numbers, even I have gone to the point where I just say another 30 have died. The truth is, these are human beings.
Right.
And as long as we don't have punitive measures by the president, God will not judge them alone.
And please,
the country must judge them. They must go to court.
When Femi Adesina is speaking, you should please not tell the Nigerians that our president said that God will judge, because we expect more than that. Yes, we know God will judge, definitely. That's a no-brainer. Yeah. Anybody can tell you that. The child will tell you that.
Always say
but what we need is what the president is doing concerning this, not that God will judge, please.
Leave God's thing for God, and then Caesar, expect Caesar to do what Caesar does best. Hunt them down and punish them.
Simple. Move on. Unfortunately, we can't take any more. The spokesperson, man, honestly, they need to hire some certain people for this spokesperson.
But he has not been reappointed. Actually, he's just doing extra job.
Okay, all right. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we have a lineup of topics for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So it seems this Herdsmen story isn't going anywhere. As the residents at the Opara Forest Reserve, Ogun State, and Imeko Forest Reserve in Ogun State are living in fear following the invasion of the two reserves by herdsmen. According to report, the influx of herdsmen from Burkina Faso, Mali, and other countries making lots of people to vacate their area of residency. Now, this is frustrating for, I think it was Imeko actually, Imeko Reserve. And it's really frustrating. A lot of people don't even want to travel anymore. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. Share your experiences so far, because we're hearing of this. Initially in the past, they were so far away, somewhere in the north. But now it's getting pretty close. Imeko is right there. And people, I mean, somebody telling me that they went to Ekiti the other day, and just right after they passed, they saw the herdsmen behind them with the cattle. So they were suspecting that maybe they want to block an incoming vehicle. So they could see. So these things are so close to us. And it's getting more and more frustrating. I'd like you to share your own thoughts on this and what stories you've heard in the past concerning this. Let me let you go, Mariam.
Okay, so for me, I don't really know these places, but just the way the story is told just reminds me of the sort of things we say in Jos. Sort of stories that people have spoken about, what they have seen. My mom has told me that, on her way to work on a particular day, she had seen like hundreds of people on bikes covered in black, and they were armed early in the morning. She said she does not even understand the sort of bikes they were using because it was silent. She says it was when they got really close to her that she noticed. And I've heard stories like that of people just walking into villages, just coming into villages like that. And we've heard stories of people who are in IDP camps have said, we have left our villages, these people have taken over, we can't go back home, these people are living in our places. So it has come to the southwest. So, and that's the thing. At first, it seemed like this is the northern problem, is their problem, is a religious problem or an ethnic problem. Now we know it's a Nigerian problem. Right. And before it becomes something that completely overwhelms us, we need to take action.
So every country is about the idea of you have a supremacy of your territory. You're supposed to protect your territory. That's what makes you a country, is that you are in charge of your country. And it's obvious that we have not been able to self-sustain our territory. So we have the core north, the Borno, where before the administration came into power, was being occupied by a group of terrorists. And then we now have armed bandits that have influxed through Zamfara and are causing hardship through those areas that the security can't handle. Now we have on the southwest, this is not from the northern side though, this is from Burkina Faso and Mali. Those are bordering towards from Benin Republic. Now, they said the landmass of this forest reserve, which belongs to Nigeria, also spills into Benin Republic. So the Benin side of the land is being occupied by this herdsmen, and the Benin Republic people have been able to drive them out of their own part of the land. And now they are occupying Nigeria. And our own citizens have left the forest for them.
Okay, let me take this call from Dotu from Imeko. Dotu, are you there?
Oh, wow. Yeah, good morning.
Morning, go ahead, please.
Yeah, please, I want to say Imeko is very volatile because it's a border local government.
Okay.
And the multiplicity of border routes into the local government, even officially, you cannot really say these are the routes from Benin Republic and other neighboring countries into local government. As a person, I can count like about 50 routes into local government. So I don't know how we want to man all of those routes and stop the migration of these people from Burkina Faso, Chad, and Niger from entering Imeko. And it is true that they have taken over some parts of the local government. But I must say, it is not a Nigerian problem. It is a northern problem. It is the negligence of the northern elite who has abandoned their own roots over the years, over time. And these people are coming up to see that we can actually take our chances into our own hands. And that is why you see all of these insecurity and crisis.
Thank you very much, Dr.
I don't think we should create an ethnic narrative from this. This is a Nigerian problem. So at a point in time, the southwestern people felt like it was a northern problem, and other people were thinking it's another area problem. But now it is a Nigerian problem, and we need to work hand in hand to solve the problem.
Let me come to you, Janet. What are your thoughts on this issue?
I want to confirm that Imeko is a border town. In fact, you can't really, like the caller said, you can't really differentiate. As a girl of 16, I'd visited Imeko severally when my brother served there. So I know in and out of Imeko. And, you know, that is why they are capitalizing on the easy access into the place to take over. The same thing with Osun. I'm from Osun by marriage. So I also know that part of Ikire, Akpobo, where this thing is really rampant.
Border communities.
No, Ikire is not a border community. Akpomutu is not a border community. But
we have
it is in it. But there are kidnappings going there. But Shaki is a border community. So they could be coming in from that part into Osun.
I think
When I
right?
was growing up, I heard stories of Ariel Onokakanfo. I heard stories of how there's a generalismo of the whole of Southwest. You know, these kind of things cannot happen. We have them.
He has spoken of
Where,
them.
I mean, I know he's speaking about it. We hear the stories of how they do certain things, they do something, and they get either Orisha or something, and they just protect the whole. You know, you think that these people, these things will come to play. Now, nothing is happening. Everybody's just waiting for the
I think there's something we should
He said they'll do something and protect. This, if they are really Fulanis, they also have something that we even protect them more than these other people.
Okay, so,
you know,
one thing I think
power
we need
versus
to
power.
also look at is that we have grazing routes, right? So we have grazing routes that just go along the border line, the border communities in Nigeria. So we have, the reason we were talking about is these are herders, they have their cattle, and they go through these grazing routes, and they've done that for years, even before we had the amalgamation. But the thing is that we're talking about people who have now taken up arms, people who used to just normally graze along this path and have taken up arms. And that is not a northern problem, as our caller said. You know, this is a terrorist issue. Terrorism has come into play. People who normally did their businesses, farmers who had their farmlands, and herders who had their cattle have now started taking up arms against each other.
I will call for Madam.
That's
Morning, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Madam. Right, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So, Mariam is a little bit knowledgeable of the herders problem. I am a herder. I herd cattle up to down. I am just from my ranch. And to a certain extent, you need a discussion that is aware of the problems of the herders, who can tell Nigerians actually their own problems, how those problems can be solved, and how other Nigerians can appreciate their own predicaments over periods. It is unreasonable for anybody to think somebody with 100 cows, valued over 10 million naira, can just be just a terrorist. He has a business, he needs to survive, he has a family to protect, but he has been neglected over time. The government, the Nigerian citizens must understand his own predicament. These are fundamental points that we all have to appreciate.
Right.
These are Nigerians. If there are anybody coming from outside, then Nigerians plus the nomads, the herders.
Thank you very much. I need to hold you on that because there are different issues. We understand the herders within Nigerians, it's their own right to herd their cattle. But we also understand there are foreigners that are coming through our porous borders, and I think Aroti mentioned it yesterday. We have this overpopulation. We can't even define who is Nigerian, who is not Nigerian. So people are coming in from the north, the south, the east, from different angles, coming into and taking over communities. That's the problem. That's where we have an issue with.
We never had issues with grazing herders. We never had issues with the herdsmen that are doing their job.
Right.
The issues we have are with the terrorists amongst them.
Armed.
The ones that are armed are the ones who have issues with. Currently, there's a burial I'm supposed to go for in Aramoko this weekend that was now moved to Ibadan. The grandma is no longer buried in her hometown. She's going to be buried in Ibadan because every family member is saying, we're not going towards Ekiti, we're not going towards Ondo State, because we've heard, and this is the MO, people, the cattle will be driven across the road, so you will stop. And when you stop, they go into the car with arms, and then they carry, they will leave the driver and carry them, whoever the passenger is, out and demand for ransom. That is not a farmer. That is not a herdsman. That is a terrorist. That's a kidnapper masquerading and using. So if the herdsmen want us to listen to them, and I'm happy one has called, is to help us fish out the evil ones amongst you, because you know yourself more than we do. We just see everybody carrying the cattle nowadays.
That's one thing, yes, but you see, the areas that they are terrorizing, why is there no security in those areas? In that entire region, we have the police, the law enforcement agencies in those states. Where are they? Even the local hunters, what are they doing?
Ikere Road, right in front of the school.
Everybody
must
be able to come to the table to understand, okay, what role do I play in securing the lives of those around these certain regions? But as he said, and he rightly said, that we need to bring in somebody, a real herder, who understands you see, because Nigerians must be able to know how to define, get the difference.
Good. Because
so we have to make that difference very, very clear. So we don't judge any person who is herding cattle.
But now people are once beaten, twice shy. They don't even want to see anybody with the cattle anymore. The Southeast is saying that we don't want to see anybody. We don't want anybody grazing on our entire area.
I disagree with that action. Because one man is bad does not mean that you now take an action that will now be affecting the generality of others. That is wrong. They should investigate.
And at the core of the matter is that we have those grazing routes that they feel is their right to graze along those
Mariam,
routes.
those grazing routes, deforestation has encroached into the place. So they don't have enough grasses there, which is why they wanted to start planting grass and all of that. And thinking of having cattle colonies. Anyway, we need to preempt disaster.
We didn't attempt to address this issue of herdsmen. That was not the attempt today. It's just to express people's displeasure on the fact that it seems as if there's nobody helping us in the fact that people are being kidnapped every single day. But we will still treat this issue of grazing, herdsmen, the whole violence properly. Maybe next week we're trying to get a guest who can actually help us understand the needs of the herdsman and why they need certain areas. And then we also talk to security officials. What are they doing to secure the lives and property of Nigerians in every region, both in the east, in the south, west, and in the north? That's what we can take until we come back. It's Tuesday. We'll discuss sickle cell. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the 19th of June every year is set aside to commemorate the World Sickle Cell Day. According to reports, over 300,000 babies are born with the sickle cell disease every year, and Nigeria has the highest burden of sickle cell disorders in the world. Joining us on the show is the medical director and a family physician, Dr. Benjamin Olowo-Jabutu.
Thank you for having me.
And also we have the producer, Dazzling Mirage Tunde-Kilani. Welcome, sir. Good to have you. So you can join the conversation 070-806-6801. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Every year we discuss sickle cell. What's special about this year's celebration? Let me let you go, sir. Because every year we discuss sickle cell. Why is Dazzling Mirage involved in this projection?
For me, I mean, it's important that Nigeria must take part in the commemoration of World Sickle Cell Day every year. And I'm particularly delighted that TVC has given us the opportunity to be part of that celebration and to screen Dazzling Mirage tomorrow. You know, this is a film that should be seen, and every home should have a copy of Dazzling Mirage, and this is, you know, why we're here.
I mean, we saw Dazzling Mirage when it launched, and it was about this lady that was had the disease and how she was able to overcome the challenges, the life challenges generally. But let me come to you, doctor. Sickle cell, in a nutshell, a lot of people, we know what it is in Nigeria because we talk about it every time, but for those who are still iffy about it, could you just tell us exactly what it is again and why it's so important to commemorate this day?
One of the things, thanks for having me, Mariah, and the ladies, thanks. You're all looking very beautiful today. One of the things I want to dissuade a misnomer is to call these people sicklers. It's one thing that has been problems for a long time in Nigeria. They call them sicklers, and that's not the truth. They are human beings living with sickle cell disease, you know, so just them, that happened to them. You know, it's just an inborn error, inborn error from genetic problems. So you have a woman that is AS, a man that is AS, married themselves, the sickling traits, just the sickling trait of the other, of the man and the wife come together and becomes SS. That's why they are sickle cell carriers, sickle cell disease. So they are not sicklers. I've seen people that have done very, very well in their lives. They are 70, 75 because they've done very, very vital things. So this particular year is important for enlightenment to the people. People should know clearly that they are not sicklers. They can live proper life if they pay attention to their health properly. Right. And that's why we're celebrating it this time. So
talking about errors, genetic errors, as we say, a lot of people have, we've actually had someone who seemed a bit, on the show, who seemed a bit combative concerning fighting this sickle cell. Because he was of the opinion that the ones that are being born now are born purposefully by their parents. They understand that they have this error, as you call them, and then they still intentionally go ahead to have children, knowing the pain that they would go through. So my own is, what do we do now to stop, you know, the birth of sickle cell?
Yeah, I think that's the purpose of Dazzling Mirage. I, was minding I didn't know until I came across a film, Family Affair, that was produced in England, the National Health Service, aimed at the black communities. And I thought that this is a film Nigeria should have made. So the purpose is to create the necessary awareness. And at the end of Dazzling Mirage, we had the suggestion that Nigerians should be tested and they should attend genetic counseling. You know, because if any decision is taken after knowing your status, that'll be based, from educated information. It's now your choice because you have been counseled and you can live with it. Partners can come together because they now know. Any decision they take will be from an informed opinion.
Okay, let me ask you, as part of what you are doing, have you considered going to the rural areas? These are largely uneducated people who know next to nothing about gene, who don't even know that sickle cell is an inherited kind of anemia. To educate them, to sensitize them on the need to test. Right choices. Yes, to make the right choice, to save their children.
Listen, the doctor is the expert. Yes. There are people, who are experts in sickle cell anemia and the disorder. I'm just a filmmaker, a storyteller. Okay. I've made this film, but my conscience says that this film has not penetrated by now. I had, what stampeded me into taking the decision to make the film is that I thought that Nigeria, every local government, everywhere should have information about sickle cell. So my preoccupation now is, how do I get this film across? And
this is one of the reasons why TVC is trying to push this movie, because our reach is huge across the country. We're premiering this movie, I think, tomorrow. Premiering this movie tomorrow, so that everybody, those who are uneducated, who watch TV, can see this movie and get the information about how important it is to get tested and know your status. So when you're even getting married, okay, this is the reason why.
Can I add something? Sorry, from what Uncle TK said. If you say you love somebody, which is what people say around now, I'm in love with that lady, I'm in love with that guy, and you are AS and you find that you're both AS. If you truly love that person, you will cut off that marriage. Okay. Truly love. But if, that relationship. But as I said, if both of you now decide, okay, we have the resources, we have the wherewithal, we have the passion to take care of the resultant. Some say they live by faith, they live by, that kind of stuff. It's fine, but you must. Every child is a life. You said it before. It's an entity. It's a life. You must give them what they need. So if you say both of us we are both here, so we want to go into this thing.
As a follow-up to that, what you just said, in today's technology,
Yes.
do we have the ability to test the child's blood while a fetus?
Yes.
So if you can do that, then can you then get rid of the pregnancy?
No.
We know it's not legal. Listen, we know. We need to know what the choices are.
Okay.
Does the young lady have that choice?
To step in and not
That's the
allow
point.
AS to get married. And if they do no. The government, I'm entitled to my opinion.
Yes, go ahead.
Because I feel that at the end of the day, whatever problem that child will become no, I don't want to use a negative word to explain, but that the child's health will be a challenge for the society.
I get your point.
And that parent is not the only one who will be responsible for that child's health.
Correct.
The entire community, the society, the pressure. So if the parents are selfish in their love for one another and they don't think that is important, the government has a right to step in and prevent such cases from happening.
Excuse me, from my point of view, what I learned on the way throughout the production of this film is what you are referring to will be referred to as selective mating. And scientifically, it has another problem because now Nigeria's number of carriers is about 40 million. We have 40 million Nigerians who are AS. If you did that, you will increase the number of AS, and if you do that, then something else will result. So, there are other reasons. Experts will tell you.
They should be allowed to marry.
Well, since you know, you already have the information, based on that information, you know how to bring healthy babies to life. Okay. Otherwise, what they call selective mating again has its defects. It has a problem later.
Okay, so where I was driving at earlier.
I get your point.
Okay, let me let you.
So there's something called amniosynthesis and chorion villus sampling that you could do about 6 to 14 weeks of the. You go into the woman that is pregnant. You take some blood from the placenta and check. Do a DNA sampling and check and do everything, and you can do an abortion. It's not legal in Nigeria, obviously, but some people are doing it right now. Some few people that are doing it, but it's not legal.
That's why I was driving at. Now, what must we do? Should we get a legal framework to empower us to take that decision as a woman? You know that, okay, I can test my fetus. If my fetus is SS, can I have that choice? To say, okay, I want to exterminate or I want to keep. That is illegal right now. Yes. But we're saying, is this something that will be pushed at the National Assembly? That's something we should, because if we want to have a realistic approach to this issue of sickle cell, we must look at all the options.
So it makes sense to have a national legal framework.
Right.
But you also have to think, are we ready as Nigerians to do that?
Are we ready as Nigerians to take care of sickle cell?
Hold on, let me tell you.
Let me take this call. I'll come to you, doctor. Okay. I think Titi's been holding from Abuja. Hello, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Morning, Titi. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm the first caller, please.
Welcome to the show.
And I want to contribute. So you are saying you are going to show it to the hotel tomorrow. Remember that a lot of people don't have access to light. You see? So what should we do? Yeah, that is true. When you compare, I know that things are not working well in this country. I think all we will do is maybe to churches, to mosques, to spread it around. Because a lot of people don't know about this sickle cell issue.
That's a fantastic point.
So it should be
that's a fantastic point. So she's saying that instead of waiting, letting TVC premiere this, or take it to churches, mosques, where they have a viewing, where people can actually get this information, because not everybody has electricity. But after going to break, when I come back, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I have a better suggestion.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So our last caller was talking about going to religious houses to tell people, or even show the movie Dazzling Mirage there. Have you done that already?
Well, first of all, my target was to take it to schools, institutions, and we tried on our own, but without the adequate funding, we can't rely on that model. You know, I know there has to be another intervention. The first one is broadcast over TVC tomorrow, and then all the other things are followed. The been suggestion, you know, rural areas, no. Let's look at the penetration of mobile devices. Can we squeeze the film into every phone So that anyway, we'll talk about that later. That's a plan.
I mean, people can actually download these things online, but I think the lady made a valid point. Lots of people are going to mosques or churches, so it'd be a nice viewing every maybe Sunday, once in a while, or Saturday, where everybody watches.
There's a viewing.
Yeah. Nice.
I think it's imperative that we begin to know clearly what we want to do as a nation. Are we interested in the life of the people? Is there love as a baseline? Yeah. So if there's love, if you love the nation, if you love your people, you give them the right information that they need, and you give them the quality information.
Can't help because
so I say something. So that's where I'm going. The churches, the mosques need to get to the understanding that they are part of the process of informing for the people. So you come and say somebody to do a test, you say, don't you have faith again? Or it tells you, somebody comes to my office and tells me, I have faith, I'm strong, that the first child is going to be A. I know that the A will meet the A. And they are the first child, SS. Okay, I say, what happened to your faith? He says, yes, don't worry, God is testing my faith again. Second child, SS. Then they have 4 SS. And you see, they're miserable. So the quality of life has shut down. All the money that they saved is zero. The kids are not living properly. You see them stunted growth, mental retardation, dehydration every time, a plastic crisis, pain crisis, and they're unhappy. So they are indirectly costing the children.
You know, this is a difficult conversation to have.
Very, very difficult.
Because there are people who are surviving this disease.
I know.
And they are doing well.
Yes.
And it's almost like a slap on their face when we make it look as if once you have the disease, it's a life sentence. So we must always make that difference.
That's what I'm saying. Right information. Right. There are folks that are doing extremely well, doing beautifully, doing excellently well. So if you take care of yourself properly, you take a little water. That's one thing you should do. Water every day. You must have like water in your bag, in your bottle, everywhere you're close to water is there. You're hydrated every day.
Close to your doctor.
Close to your doctor. Are you getting me? Don't have mosquito bites at home. Make sure.
How feasible is that?
So I tell you something.
With our economy.
No, it's not about economy. It's about environment. It's about pure water.
You can't drink it.
No, so the thing is, Mariah, I get what you say. Those people who have survived, we thank God for them, they are survivors. But the thing is, we live in Nigeria. So first of all, we even need like a government regulation to sort of put in place things that will make it easier for a lot of people to
survive.
Live. So those that have survived are not the average Nigerian.
For draconian rule.
So I am not for draconian. I do not think that the government should put in place a law to stop people from getting married.
No, you can't do that.
But you know what I would like?
Voluntary.
I would like for us to do that for every woman that has a baby, wherever she has the baby, whether in the urban area or in the rural area, that a test is done on that baby and the information is given to her immediately and saying,
so
this is your
what does she do?
So she knows, she has the information.
She doesn't have the means. What does she do?
She will be given the information. A lot of them don't even know that their children are SS for so many years. They're going back and forth.
We're not solving the problem.
So I tell you something.
I have the call. Let me pause you for a second.
Okay,
I have a call. Hello, are you there?
They have 4 SS.
Hello, yeah.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Bayer.
Good morning. I just want to make some contributions based on what the doctor said. I'm SC, but I was, it was detected very early.
Oh, beautiful.
So that made it possible for me to live. I'm about 26 now.
Amazing.
So I've not visited the hospital for anything. I hardly go to the clinic for anything.
Amazing.
So I feel one of the basic things I learned was taking a lot of water. I have this gym water bottle, like 2 or 3, always with me. I go with a duffel bag.
Good.
I'm always with a cap and the glasses.
Excellent.
Just to keep calm. Then I take a lot of soda water.
Beautiful.
Then there are stuff you should do and stuff you should not do.
Thank you, Bayo.
Yeah.
Amazing work, yes. Great work.
That's information. That's information.
It's information. So I tell
beginning.
you something. So you give out a child, and between the birth and 6 months, you can't know if it's SS or ESS because there's fetal hemoglobin that shields any sickle, yeah? But when it's 6 months, there's something we find out in children, they're all called dactylitis. Hands and foot syndrome, their hands are getting very swollen. Hands and foot are swollen. Then they have jaundiced eyes. They are yellow. They're not growing properly. Failure to thrive. At that point in time, it's not the devil. You take them to the hospital and get them tested. So if they know on time, early, you saw what Bayo said, I knew early. So the mother is not encouraging them to take a lot of water, checking them properly looking after them, giving them the right food to eat, vegetables, a lot of fruit, a lot of water. I get to me. Not pure water, as I'm cooking together, proper water. And those things prevent them. I have a personal friend, he's a medical doctor too. He has never been sick in his life.
And he is.
And he's SS. He's SS. Amazing guy. I get it because he has information.
Right.
So even in our room back in the medical school, we have to flip the room every evening because the father said, okay, because of him, so all of us, we're not part of the caregiver. So every evening we must flip because of him, we flip the room every evening.
Thank you, that's a vital information because that's a beautiful thing about the Dazzling Mirage movie that we're about to premiere. It lets you know that there's information available for you. This disease exists, and we can actually seek for this information because the earlier you know about it. So it's not about preventing people from getting married. It's about providing the information they need to live successful lives. That's what the objective is.
Yes, so the thing is, for those who have been born, this is what we should do. But for those who are yet to be born, what do we do?
Exactly. We can't be faithing to have 4 SS children. It's not wise. We have wisdom is profitable to direct. Every religion will tell you, you know. So we can't be expecting that we would suspend our common sense and be hoping that spirituality will solve a problem we created.
Okay, yes, sir.
Because if the government steps in, there can be a coordinated program. In the US, for instance, they managed to extend the lifespan of anybody living with that disorder. I think it was something under 20. But now they've declared that people living with sickle cell disorder now live, the life expectancy is above 60.
Yes, 62.
It's 62.
Yes.
It's 62. You know, so Nigeria needs to do sort of a coordinated program over time, you know, to take, advantage of modern science and information.
Okay, my question goes to the doctor. How about those who didn't have information and it's already manifesting? Because I read that they always go through these episodes of crisis, which is pains, when the sickle cell blocks the blood flow, either to the legs, to the feet. My schoolmate had it, but we didn't understand it as children at that time. She was always having this bandage on her feet, and it was swollen. And, some people thought maybe it was Ogbanje that an attack that Egbo Adaj, that's how they call it in Yoruba, because they don't have information. So what do they do?
So back in the days, information was very limited. Back, a lot of our parents that they thought they were Ogbanje people, but it's better now. People are getting more informed. If you are taught health education in school, it's part of curriculum now. Sickle cell disorder is part of the curriculum now, that people are taught clearly what is sickle cell, how did you get it, how do you help your neighbor, because it's actually a family-centered approach. It's an environment. So it's not only you. So the mother, the father, the child, the sisters, the brothers, the doctors, the family, the environment, because the school, because sometimes the crisis can start in school.
Yes.
So what the teacher knows, okay, have you taken your water today? A lot of the children are they are very playful. They want to play like other kids. So you tell them, if you are playing in that place, so have your bottle of water close to you. If you run 15 minutes run, get your water to drink, because the first thing that happens to a lot of them is dehydration. When dehydration happens, there's hypovolemia, and the sickle cell happens because you don't have enough blood level, enough HB, and you have low volume again. When you have low volume, it's sickles. When you have sickles, there's a crisis. So there's not pain, there's not aplastic anemia, there's not sequestration, and it's preventable. Yes. So everybody now, I've seen kids do well. Lots of patients I have, but they've done well because they are informed. They have their water in their, so you know about, they have their water in their bottles. They have some painkillers with them to sort of, if there's any pain, they take it quickly. And they treat malaria often. So they see their doctor. So don't wait until you are sick. See your doctor regularly.
I think we can end up with that. But let us tell, what time is this showing tomorrow on TVC? Do you have the time yet?
TVC.
We'll announce it tomorrow, don't worry. Once we get
for
time.
me, I mean, it's a commemoration. It's not life and it's not death, you know. We are celebrating. We are celebrating tomorrow. People living with sickle cell disorder, you are not alone.
Yes, we are with you.
We are with you.
I'm with you. Uncle Tigger is with you. Mariah is there with you too. All of them with you.
So the movie premieres tomorrow. Please tell everybody to watch it. I'll let you know the time tomorrow once I get a time on TVC tomorrow. And also, I would advise that you take it to churches and mosques.
Yes.
And also online. To be nice for everybody to hear about
mobile
it.
phones.
And mobile phones. Get people to watch it. All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, we're still celebrating Father's Day. I'll be discussing prostate cancer. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So just like women have diseases that can threaten their life, report has it that 1 man in 9 will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime. Prostate cancer develops mainly in older men and in African-American men. Now, what are your general thoughts or questions about this? You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. Because on Your View, we're celebrating Father's Day. It was on Sunday, and tomorrow is going to be our Father's Day celebration. So we thought it was important to remind our fathers again. We know you know this story already, but it's important we continually remind you of the dangers of prostate cancer. But for those of you who have no idea, you've been hearing about it, you're not really sure. Our doctor again will tell us what is prostate cancer and also BPH.
Okay, so it's important we get it clear. There's BPH called benign prostatic hyperplasia. It's a benign tumor. It's not cancerous. It happens to men, older men after 40. It can happen to them. What happens is that the prostate gland is one of the glands behind the urethra. Urethra is where you pass urine from. So the urethra connects the bladder to the outside. So this is like the urethra. So this part of the urethra is where the prostate is. So when it gets swollen, when it gets enlarged, it becomes benign prostate. It becomes hyperplastic. That's when it's enlarged. So when it's enlarged, it presses on that urethra. So you now have symptoms like people are dribbling. They want to go to the bathroom. The pee is like dribbling. They have to like strain before the thing just to pee before it comes out. Or they go very often. So you go like 10 minutes time. I'm feeling pee again. They go again because they don't fully empty their bladder. So
because it's coming in trickles.
In trickles, yes, because that thing has
blocked it.
It blocked it. So sometimes it comes really bad. That is blocked. They have to pass them a catheter to go through that urethra, so that the urine in the bladder can come out. So
this happens to 50% of men above 50.
Correct, yes. So you have what we call urinary retention. One of the things that happens when it's enlarged. So it's benign. How do you know it's benign? It's important you do a PSA. Yeah, so you do a PSA. PSA is prostatic specific antigen. It's a test that would do, blood test that you do when you're above 40. Quite expensive. But now a lot of people are now saying that it's important to do a lot of reach out, so they're dropping the cost of doing the PSA.
Viewers, benign is not threatening.
No,
it's still
not.
manageable.
It's not. Yes, it's not. Benign is not cancerous. It's benign.
Right.
But the benign can also become cancerous. So what you do now, to be sure is either benign or cancerous, you do call you do a biopsy. Biopsy means you go into that prostate and take a small sample out of it and do an histology. You test it. When you do the testing, it now tells you.
Is that different from the PSA?
No, it's different. PSA is a blood test. So that one is like screening. We call it screening test, like you ladies do.
So do you do either or you have to do both?
No. So if you're above 40, if you do a PSA that is less than 4, 0 to 4. That's fine, you're okay. And you don't have other symptoms. You don't have urinary symptoms. Which means, and we do a DRE for you. DRE means direct rectal examination. We're going through your anus and check the nodules. If it's enlarged enough, we tell you, okay, this enlargement shows that you should do a further test. Are you getting me? So, but if it's less than 4 and you don't have any other symptoms, you're fine. But if it's above 4, maybe 4 to 10 or more than 10, and you have other symptoms, you have pain in your legs, pain in your ribs. Most times, prostate cancer goes to the ribs first. Ribs, you still have pain in their ribs, in their knee, like in their patella. They have what we call pathological fracture. So the bones are not breathe through. They are breathe through bones. They are walking. They feel like I want to fall down. This leg is really paining me. That kind of thing. Pathological fracture, breathe through. So the cancer is going into the bones basically because it's very close. It's in the bladder now, so it's very close to going to the bones and everything.
You said a lot of technical terms, and I want our viewers to be very clear. It's okay,
I don't like
but to bring it home a bit, you know, you people, you're men, your species.
Yes, we are.
Men, they don't listen. We don't tell them to go and get tested. I'm fine, you're fine. A man is listening to you right now. What can you tell him to compel him to get tested?
I am begging you, men, please, when you're above 40, it doesn't cost a lot. Just go to a lab, do a PSA, and see a doctor. That doctor, can you just help me do a DRE, which means a digital rectal examination. Check my prostate for me, even if you don't have symptoms. Because this can happen too quickly, Because as we grow old, our testosterone gets more. We are we are prone to having...
Yeah, almost 80%.
Yes, we are prone to having prostate cancer, we are prone to having BPH, because as testosterone grows up, the prostate enlarges. Are you getting my point? Then we have other things that can happen too, you know, as...
So how often do you need to do this test? Because some people will say, oh, I went 5 years ago and I was
when
fine.
I go 40, do it every year. It's better do it every year.
Every year do breast cancer mammogram. Okay, so my challenge is there are many people out there that are saying, oh, frequent sexual intercourse could prevent this thing, and some people are saying that it has nothing to do with that.
But I think it's true, because book says so. Yes, when you ejaculate, the testosterone drops. You know, so you have to reproduce again. So people that have done a lot of good sexual activity reduces their prostate cancer. You know.
Okay.
Yes, it's in the book too, so it's fine. It's fine.
Doctor, maybe that explains my father's situation, because he died of prostate cancer.
How old is he?
It was 80.
Okay.
It was 80.
That's
and
old.
he had maybe stopped meeting with his wife, reduced his sexual activity by 70. Okay. And in your course of discussion, you also explained why he, you know, that they have pains.
Yes.
Because a journey from the living room to the room that usually was no more than a minute or two took him 2 hours or 1 hour. Yes. So that means he went through a lot of pain.
Happening, and they didn't see anything.
He didn't know on time, and it was affecting his bones.
That's it.
So is that why older men married to younger women?
A lot of them,
longer?
yes. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes. So one of the things that is important, I like what you said now, and I'm glad you understand it now. Yes. So you watch your husband better now. You can help him. We always wait until you have the bad or the very excruciating symptoms before we get help. That's what happens in Nigeria. I lost a friend's mother about a month ago, and he told me that the woman had a breast lump, and I said, "Can I check it?" And I said, "No, how can my mother's breast?" I'm wondering. No, she died. Now she found out that breast lump that they didn't allow me to check a month ago was a cancer that got that already got into her stomach. She was vomiting blood, and she died. So as I'm wondering now, so what do I have to do to now like I'm nosy. I'm like...
That's why we're having this show.
So I'm not saying...
We keep these things quiet.
That's why we're having this show.
I'm not saying...
Don't talk.
Is it my fault? I felt bad. Should I have gone to her house and tell Mommy, let me just check that breast by force? But I can't do that because it's voluntary. I have to... If I'm going to examine you...
Let me ask you a question, because a man who feels it because he exercises a lot, he's fit, because, I mean, people drop dead all the time. But once you're fit, you feel like everything's okay, there's nothing, that I'm fit, I'm healthy, I eat healthy.
But one of the things that it prevents actually cancer is exercise, not bad.
So if you have cancer, if you're a good athlete, you won't have prostate.
It's good. No, not that you won't have.
You still need to have those
because they
tests
done. The prostate would always get enlarged over time. It's just that you might not have
cancer. Yes.
Yeah. So that's
so not every BPH becomes a cancer. Not every. So every BPH, if it's BPH and you know it's now becoming very, very, you have all those very, very lagging, very nagging symptoms. We take out the prostate, do a prostatectomy.
Fantastic. Let me take this call.
Out. Yes.
Good morning. Are you there? Tokumbo, are you there?
This is Ogun from Ogun State.
Go ahead, please.
I will take this, okay? I want to talk about the security aspect of our roads.
Yes.
I have children in Ogun State going to school. And every time I'm picking them up, bringing them back, my heart is like, bam, bam. You understand? And when you said, where is our security? I was saying, yes, anytime we are going, there are police here. Taking bribes from people, I have to bring my father-in-law along with me anytime I'm going because he's a retired police officer, so that we will not be delayed on the road. You understand? But I don't know, our security is that bad. And I want to talk about the sickle cell thing. I lost my sister. I lost her, and when my parents had her, they had no information. Wow. We knew nothing about it.
My condolences, please.
But one thing I could remember was that my mom said when she gave birth to her, I think week, she was sick and they took her to the hospital and the doctor said she has something that is called sickle cell. You know, she came home and said, which one is it? You know us now, in Nigeria, we don't take anything serious. And we lost her. And it's so sad.
Thank you so much, Ogun.
I
So that's
pray
what
that
that's the objective of
if they're
this.
not taking
Get the right information, because these things can be prevented, can be managed, most especially.
Very correct.
Going back to the issue of prostate.
Yes, this issue of not taking things serious. You know, most of the time, people, because it's a private issue to men, most people, it doesn't present early. So it might present early, but they will not talk about it early because they don't want to share the fact that I'm finding it difficult to pee. No man wants to admit that this is painful until it becomes excruciatingly painful.
Yes.
How can we address, one, the issue of getting men to speak up, because that's why we're talking about it on Father's Day. And number two, how do we get intervention? Because breast cancer, cervical cancer, a lot of people and NGOs have jumped into it and they've taken it as a project that they've reduced the price to ensure that it is easy to prevent death. But we haven't had that same level of energy being given to prostate issues.
So the point is this. So I tell my friends that they deal about girl child, training girl child. They're leaving the boys. And you train a girl, and who marries the girl? That same boy. The untrained boy marries that girl and made the girl bad. So the same thing. We're all focused on the breast cancer, cervical cancer, and everything. And the men are dying. So who marries the woman? So it's important that we focus attention too on this men.
All right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So for the men out there, it's important I make sure they understand what we are saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Every man over 40
at
some point will have BPH, which is benign.
Yes, very benign.
That means your prostate is there, is enlarged. But not all will graduate to the chronic state of prostate cancer.
Correct.
Now, so what we're asking the men, once you're above 40, get it checked every year.
Yes.
Early. So that you can manage it so it doesn't become cancerous. Because you're 70, 80, and now wondering what happened.
Amazing. Mora is the doctor.
So what are the treatments?
It's a good student.
Okay, good. So as I said before, if you have a BPH that has other nagging symptoms, that you cannot pee again, some are on catheter for months, you know, you do a prostatectomy. You take out the prostate. Then that relieves.
I hope that doesn't affect performance.
So it does. It does a little bit. It does affect performance. Yeah, it does. Because it reduces the level of testosterone. So most of them, they have very reduced libido at that time.
Things have to be done.
A little bit, yeah.
Because we know that the men, they're very concerned once you go there.
Some kissing and stuff.
No, but is it? But I heard that they don't take out completely. Some they just scrape.
So yeah, some they scrape. But the best thing to do is take out everything. So if you know, so that's for benign. You check it out and they're fine. They're on alpha beta drugs, finasteride or Avodart. They take it every day for a couple of months and they're fine. And that's it. It's very, very. They can completely be better for BPH. But for cancer, you know, there's radiation. You know, you take out the prostate and take out the testis, orchidectomy, because the first place that spreads to is the testis. So we will take out the prostate and take out the testis, orchidectomy. Then you now start giving them...
Just catch it quickly before it becomes this serious.
Let me take this call. I want to tell you there. Thanks for calling.
Yes, I am.
Thank
you, Morayo. I'm going to talk about all the topics you've spoken about today. I'm very sorry, I have to go.
How are you, Rati?
Okay, go ahead.
One, Oyo State has always been under siege of the herdsmen. They have always been. But let the government go to the Seriki that's the head of all herdsmen all around the southwest. There will be a solution. The second one, I am a living testimony of SC.
Wow.
I am SC. I'll be 36 by December. Wow. And I'm a mother of 3.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm so happy for you.
Everybody know. It's easy for me to forgive my parents because they were ignorant. But the parents of this day that talks about, I am going to use faith, I will give birth and we will go through it. Please, they are bringing children to pain. Let us work against it. If they don't know what to do, don't let them get married at all.
Exactly. Thank you.
Don't let them get married at all. Childbirth, going through pregnancy, for a healthy woman was not easy.
I can imagine what Sorry.
Let us nip it at the board. God bless you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
All right, so this issue of prostrate, I mean, you see men, you see women, it's easy to talk to us, but men is so difficult. Women try every time, go and get tested, they won't answer you, I'm healthy. So now we told them, we're telling men that it's important for you to get tested. Now, what causes these things exactly? Because some people want to believe that it's something that I am very, very healthy man. What is the cause? Tell me.
So every cancer doesn't have a cause. There are risk factors. You know. It's an African. I don't know why African have many problems.
What about
Black
the hereditary?
So it's obviously. So it's not like that's the cause now. It means
predisposed.
Like cancer. So your mother has a breast cancer, you can have breast cancer. Your father has a prostate cancer, you can be. It's familial. There's a family history. So if you know your father had prostate cancer early, that made him die, you start getting yourself checked early. Some start at 35. I have friends that start at 35 now because their father died of prostate cancer. They start checking it early so they can start taking medications on time. You know, then obesity. Obesity is one of the risk factors for having prostate cancer. Obesity. People like to eat a lot of junks and stuff. They sit down a lot. They're not exercising. They're very sedentary. They are prone to having it because they're not working out.
I need to say this to our men tomorrow again.
It's important. So if you could do that, if you have that family history that you know about it early, you can start preventing it on time. Then you now start checking.
There's something I want you to
exercise.
address before you leave, because you have to round up. A lot of people today are having fertility issues.
Yes.
Either because of untreated prostate or issues of fertility. Today, 2019, are you telling me as a doctor that no family should go through this issue of infertility, that there are solutions to the problem? There's something you can do to get fertile.
Yes.
Either you treat your prostate or you protect your ability to produce sperm.
So,
what exactly?
So one of the things I was telling you off break about things I've seen, radiations, you know, some people live very close to the masts in their homes. They don't know that those things emit a lot of radiation and it affects their scrotum. They don't know. Some men put their laptops on their leg while they're enjoying watching movies and maybe designing their graphics, and they're on their leg for years. They've done it for years. I've seen men that have lost their sperm because of that. So it's important we prevent anything that's radiative, that can affect, that's close to our body, even our phones in our pockets.
You shouldn't put it in your pocket for men.
And a lot of men that like to wear tight jeans, very importantly. You know, you wear young boys, they say they're doing, boy. You know, they wear tight jeans. They wear tight jeans in the morning, in the night. They sleep with tight jeans, tight. So and eat because we are men. The way God provided, the way God created us, our own reproductive organ is outside the body. So we need a room temperature, not body temperature. You women, your ovary are inside your body, you need body temperature. So by the time you start wearing tight jeans, you're making the room temperature become a body temperature, and you're killing the quality of sperm.
So if men who are having issues with infertility, they can get checked.
Yes, definitely, they can get checked. Help, plenty help, yeah.
You should speak up, Sha. At the end of the day, people should just speak up.
I don't think the fertility problem is only for your wife. And send her alone to the hospital. No, go with her, encourage her. Because I said, what makes a baby is not the woman alone. It's both of you. It's a family. So you must solve the problem together.
Fantastic. Very good. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that's all we can take. We have to bring you back because
I'm always ready to come here anytime.
Nigerian men, they don't listen.
They don't listen. We're listening now. We're getting better.
They're listening. They're quiet.
All right. So Dazzling Mirage will be shown, I think, at 11 p.m. and I think it's 11 to 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. I think tomorrow. So if you want to be part of that, please watch it tomorrow, 11 p.m. and 3 p.m. tomorrow. I'll also announce it again tomorrow so that you can remind our viewers. Now, if you'd like to be part of our Father's Day special audience, come tomorrow. Please come early. Come, we only have 30 seats. You can send your name, your phone number, and your picture to yourview@tvcommunications.tv. But still come. The first 30 will get in. And I think we're getting a gift for all our fathers tomorrow. I had a meeting with somebody yesterday, and they're likely to give us some gifts. I don't want to mention it yet until we're sure. But we're going to try to get gifts, lovely gifts for our fathers tomorrow. So please come early. We can only take 30. Please come early. So first 30 is first come, first serve.
Fathers.
All right? Fathers, not mothers. Don't come and say, I'm representing your husband. Please, do not take it. All right, thank you very much, ladies. Again, I'll get you the right time for the Dazzling Mirage tomorrow. I think it's 3 p.m. I'll let you know. If not, we'll get the right time tomorrow. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.